Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast Network. This is We Are Error Season 2, Episode 12, We Love the X-Men. If this is your first time checking out the podcast, thank you so much. Please go to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. We're at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at /We Are Podcast. With that said, on to the podcast.
We are Error.
Hold on, just so everyone knows, Javi got pulled over on the way to the podcast.
I wish I had weed. Thank God I didn't get pulled over. I was
Oh, dude, I was
weed.
so worried about that. I was like, dude, watch this be the day that he actually brought some fucking weed with him. It was like, gonna be here for a while, fellas.
No, she was super fucking cool.
Was she
Wait,
hot?
whoa.
No.
Was she hot?
Oh.
No, but I made her laugh a lot.
Okay, time out. Would you bang her?
No.
To get out of a
To
ticket.
get out of a ticket, would you fuck her?
Would you
If she
fuck her?
said, if you fuck me, I won't give you the ticket, I was like, yes.
And he also has a thing for cosplayers.
Yeah.
So this would be like a kind of like maybe a role-playing fantasy.
You know what? I guess I could have been, I probably would have fucked her.
Yeah.
All right, no, but seriously, if she would have gave you a ticket or said, you going to jail, and she talked like that too, she's like, Javi Bear, she's like, you going to jail. Hey, you. You better dick it or you get a ticket. Would you have dicked it?
To get out of a ticket, I would have dicked it.
Okay.
my God.
What if she, at the end of it, she's like, here's your ticket and my number. Would you have called her?
I would have probably called her.
write you a ticket for a good fuck. Oh, yeah. And then you show up and you're like, I'd like to pay this ticket. I'd like to ticket.
I believe I have some fans I have to take care of.
And she just pulls out the whip. Dude, but
The
seriously.
taser and the baton.
Yeah. Oh, dude, what if she stunned you?
Dude, I probably would have been panicking had she, done something like that.
What if she made you suck her dick? Alright, everybody, this is welcome to the We Are Podcast. I am here with
Jake.
and
Mr. Dickett.
You don't lick it, you get the ticket.
what is the We Are Podcast? It's a podcast we talk about movie news, entertainment, where the fuck we like. And we're gonna talk about the movie news.
Because he said movie news and you sound like Bill Cosby.
Did I?
He's like,
Even better, what if Bill Cosby pulls you over? How fast were you going?
Whoa. How the fuck did you get out already? I thought you were like serving life in here. Is it like 2 years?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry, just to take this little pill.
Take the jello or go to jail. Oh!
Serious talk. Seriously, did he do it?
him?
Yeah, do you guys think he did it?
He's in fucking jail for it,
I
bro.
know. But
I think he did.
Yeah, I
I
do.
think he did it.
Alright.
I do.
But it's like Jim Jeffries
But also,
said,
you
as
know
far
what?
as rapes go, it wasn't that bad.
We all know that OJ cut that bitch's head off and he got out.
Dude, I saw the
scot-free.
video. I mean,
Yeah.
the pictures of that. Did you see the pictures of that shit?
That was gruesome.
On that Netflix documentary about OJ, which is fucking amazing. I think it
Yeah.
won an Oscar. By the point they built it up and it showed that, I literally was so sick and bothered by that. I can't get that image out of my head of seeing her
That's fucked
basically
up, man.
decapitated. Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So yeah, don't watch that.
Or watch it.
Oh, you know what you should watch though? The John Stamos freak out at Netflix. Have y'all seen that?
No.
What?
It was, I
Uncle
think
Joey? Oh, no, Uncle
Yeah,
Jesse. Uncle
yeah.
Jesse?
He's like, I'm John fucking Stamos. Like, seriously, I swear to God, we can pull it up right now.
Do it right now, Hobbs. You
Yeah.
got the power. I give it to Jake.
Yeah,
You got the power.
Really? He shouted, I'm John fucking
How does
Stamos.
Yeah,
Uncle
he did.
Jesse
It's
get angry?
so fucking
Oh wait,
good.
Full House is on Netflix.
Yeah, but he was talking about them making fun of his brand, the Stamos brand.
Oh, he's got the brand.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I want to see a John Stamos.
Oh, it's good.
Did you ever see the Brad Williams thing where he talks about John Stamos being terrified of midgets? It's fucking amazing.
No, but I tell you what, I know people that know Brad Williams. I've worked with him before. We all have. He was doing a celebrity golf tournament deal, and this chick, she thought he was Wee Man.
Yeah.
So she fucked him.
Oh yeah.
And then this other chick He's like, that's not Wee Man. And she's like, yeah, he is. She's like, no, that's not. I fucked Wee Man. That's not Wee Man. She shows a picture, Brad sees it, and goes, yeah, that's not Wee Man either. That's such and such. We all kind of know each other in this midget community here. Like,
So she fucked him.
she thought that she fucked Wee Man, but both of them thought they were fucking Wee Man, but he was just Brad Williams the whole time. But it was a different little person that the other one fucked.
Holy
Lied to her.
shit.
Yeah.
Brad Williams probably gets laid all the fucking time.
The imp at the improv.
You know what's funny is when he came through the improv, that was when that Louis C.K. was still on the back wall, and that was right after that whole shit happened.
Yeah.
And he kept busting jokes about it. And like, what was it, like a week or two later, Louis C.K. came down off the wall.
Yeah.
Fucking brand, my 30.
Yeah, get it, John Stamos!
Oh, look. It's so good.
Stamos don't fuck up.
What do you mean he's not available? Tell John fucking Stamos. Okay? You want to make fun of me? My brand? My fucking brand? My 30 years of showbiz? You want to make fun of me? Huh? Look at me. Look at me. You Stamos brand. You didn't Stamos brand like this asshole did and use it as some
Man bun!
bullshit. I worked my life.
What the fuck?
Bullshit. He's right up. He's parking.
Trying to validate his fucking parking for him.
Was that staged?
No!
That's Stamos, bitch!
John fucking Stamos.
You don't know about Stamos?
Yeah,
Frick
bro.
sound like that?
You don't know about the Stamos brand?
That was way too funny to have been real.
Oh no, that's fucking pure Stamos concern.
Yeah, bro.
And not only that bitch asked for it. Did you see Man Bun in the back? He double asked for it. Oh, that was awesome. That was worth every
the
second.
Stamos brand.
All right, well, while we're watching videos, we're going to throw up one more. So the trailer for Avengers A, or what's it
Avengers
called?
A-Day.
Yeah, A-Day dropped today. And evidently there's a lot of hate coming for this. We're not sure why.
Oh, I can tell you why. And just based
We're
off
about
the
to watch
thumbnail.
this.
Because everybody wants it to be MCU, but they can't do that for copyright issues. But they can take shit from MCU, definitely.
Yeah, I think you want to make all the monies, you get the likenesses for the people, but I think that costs a lot of money.
Well, there's no guarantee that will be a turnaround either, that they can afford the likenesses of the people, because we don't know how well the game's going to do, right?
100%, and there's still time to change it based upon fan backlash.
It'll
They
be
couldn't have done it.
2020 whenever it's released. We're still halfway through 2019.
And even you have to look at the Spider-Man game that released recently. You know, that character looks like an amalgamation of a couple different actors. But
Right.
it doesn't look like Tom Holland.
And the game is supposed to be fucking amazing, though.
Yeah,
I don't have
exactly.
a PS4, so I'm really excited about getting an actual fucking Marvel game that looks like an open world. Everything else. What was that?
We could just play that back.
Oh, come on, go
man.
ahead.
Oh,
Like you said, I don't have a PS4. I was like, bitch.
Uh-huh.
Oh, is that what you said? Do you
Yeah.
have a PS4?
I do.
Bitch.
And I'm not a bitch.
So, but yeah, it would be fun to. What
You
do you
got
think?
neither. You don't have an Xbox One nor a PS4. You are the bitch.
How? He's not the one freaking out over this shit.
Yeah. I've got a gaming PC now, bitch.
Bro, yeah, he's got PC Master Race.
That's not the point. The point is, what do we think about that? Which we just.
I'm
saw?
excited. I want an open world
I'm not
Marvel Avengers game.
I got sucked into that. I don't know
I
about
think it
you.
looks good.
No, not me. I'm more excited for the remake of Final Fantasy VII next year.
I'm excited about that too.
It was pretty dope. But I mean, who
but it could
hasn't
go-
already played it?
And they could go the way of Resident Evil 2, where a lot of people didn't like the remake. And the same thing could happen with this Final Fantasy VII. So remakes can go a lot of different ways, but it's big money right now to do remakes. And that's
Well,
why it's
yeah,
pretty fun.
they're about to do a GoldenEye remake with the Unreal Engine also.
They've also already done a GoldenEye remake for,
for
the Wii.
Yep.
It came out a long time ago, and it was fun,
Yeah.
but it wasn't GoldenEye. GoldenEye has a time and a place, and it is nostalgia at its best. It's the first time
True.
you could sit down and play an FPS with your friends and kill each other in an arena, other than Quake, which a lot of us didn't get to play because we didn't have the PCs to play it.
Right,
But
but-
I played a shit ton of Quake on Dreamcast, and I fucking love Quake.
Yeah, Quake is dope.
And I'm a huge fan of GoldenEye. Any other videos we want to check out, seeing as E3 Day? Do we want to watch the Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk 2077 looks
Let's
fucking
check
dope.
out this Keanu Reeves surprise that came out of nowhere. You haven't seen it yet. He's going to be in a game, and there was some synergy where he showed up at E3 on the stage, and people flipped their shit.
I've already got a great
Over Neo.
gif with him in it also. Somebody yelled out he was breathtaking, and he's like, "You're breathtaking," and everybody's like, "Yeah!"
And then everyone in the crowd died.
Yeah.
Why is he so awesome?
I don't know, man, but if you go on like Imgur or Reddit right now, that's all you fucking see is how he's like the greatest person ever.
He didn't pull John Stamos. That's all I
I
know.
don't think he ever will.
And you know what? Even if he does, I'm totally fine with it.
Keanu fucking Reeves is here. The only thing that doesn't sell me on this is that this is going to be an FPS. I really wanted this to be third-person open world. Like, it's going to be an open world RPG first person. The graphics are through the roof.
That's insane.
It's based on Blade Runner, you know, the whole design and aesthetic.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Yeah.
Featured on Xbox One. That's what that game is meant for.
Yeah,
so
bitch.
fuck you with your stupid fucking PS4, fucko.
I am more than 100% behind that, and I'm not going to lie, that might get me to buy a next-generation console.
So,
that was fucking awesome.
first thing I thought whenever I saw it, and apparently most of the internet agreed with me, Johnny Mnemonic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because
It could be like a
Keanu Reeves.
spiritual one, and also just the whole premise and everything. They're loading up chips and data through their fucking back of their heads right here. Like, I mean, maybe it's a spiritual sequel to it. Who knows?
What I was wondering if it was a Kojima. Oh, first of all, Jake brought it up while we were watching it. The Love, Death, and Robots, that has got to be the same people who did the first episode of that. It
And the
has
last
to.
episode.
Has to be.
Oh, that last one.
Last episode is so good.
That-
Yeah,
and if you haven't
fuck
watched
yeah.
Love, Death, and Robots yet, definitely check that out.
Season 2 confirmed also.
I can't wait. Secondly, I was wondering if it was Kojima who did Metal Gear, and he did one of my favorite games of all time called Snatcher. And if you've never heard of Snatcher or played Snatcher, if you can find a way to play it, aka emulate that son of a bitch for the Sega CD, it is one of the best cyberpunk adventures you will ever play. It is a blast. It's basically Blade Runner,
Yeah.
like we were talking about a second ago, but it's a different version of it where the bodies are actually skinned, and the skin is taken by the robots, and they wear it.
Oh, wow.
And it's a murder mystery. You
Yeah.
begin the game playing your partner as you go to join Junkers, which are the people who chase down, they're the bounty hunters for the Snatchers, the robots that are taking the skin and acting like the people. His partner gets killed. In the first scene of the game, you go to this warehouse, this abandoned warehouse, and when you find him, his head's been twisted off and it's sitting in his lap.
Whoa.
And when I was 9, 10, when I played this for the first time, scared to death.
Did they turn this into a movie? Because it
needs
sounds like
to
it's
be.
already
It's-
been, it feels...
It is a movie, dude. Play that game. It's one of the best. If not, you can watch the full playthrough online. But it is an experience, and it's a point-and-click adventure is basically what it is. You have a series because you literally are a detective. So you have to find out
Right.
how your partner got
You have
killed.
to interrogate people.
And you have a little robot sidekick whose name is Metal Gear. He's just a smaller version of the Metal Gear robot from the Metal Gear games. And it's an amnesia storyline. It's so fucking good. It's one of the best
So it's
games
like
ever
Metal
made.
Gear Memento.
No, it's its own thing, dude. I'd say it's like Blade Runner.
Okay.
That's what I describe it.
So supposedly this is an RPG, and it's actually a sequel to a pen and paper RPG.
Yes,
from
which-
the 80s. Cyberpunk 2013
which I was gonna
and
bring up.
Cyberpunk 2020.
Which I thought was funny, and I was going to ask. I've actually bought that manual before, way before I played D&D. When I was shopping at Goodwills and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I found that, and I think it was 3 different ones, but I bought all 3. I just lost them along
It is
the
a
way.
sequel to it.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah, it's pretty
cool.
dope.
I mean, you got to look at things like Fallout. Fallout came from a pen and paper RPG.
Right.
And eventually that became a series. That's where they get the GURPS thing from and all that stuff.
bothers me that it's fucking first person, man. I wish it was third
If-
person.
for
But
me-
but there's so much outcry about this that there's still time that they can give a third person view.
Well,
and
look
still
at,
have
like I
the-
said,
yeah.
Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is technically third person and first person. You can choose.
Well, it's the same way
But-
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
BioShock is a game that's all first person, but man, that game will fucking it will pull you in. I think BioShock,
BioShock
is one of
has
the
to be
best.
first person.
But,
Yeah, because that's a shooter.
but there's something to be said about actually being through the eyes of the character and having the story happen around you, because you can literally become that character. And so I think it does make a difference. It really does. So I think that works. Even Metroid Prime. There was a lot of complaints about Metroid Prime before that game came out.
Yeah.
Because there was never a Samus game where she was in the first person. And boy, were we wrong about that. That game fucking rocked. All right, let's get to some moving news.
Moving news!
No, you got to do the
Willy Wonka.
Oh, that's nerdy news where I do that noise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was just the one time.
Moving news!
Widdly
I don't even know, dude. I live for the Whittly Wah. It literally makes me happy. All right, so not a lot of movie news. Just a little bit before we get to our subject. Ghostbusters director confirms original cast has read the script.
And
And Sigourney Weaver has also confirmed 2 out of the 4 Ghostbusters who are still alive will be in the movie.
That's already Bill
Winston
Murray.
and Ray.
No, Bill Murray's already on scene. They've already got photo of him
Yes.
in suit and everything.
So, for real.
Yes, they got
Venkman.
they got Venkman.
And there
Oh.
is a Batman on Batman where Kevin Smith is talking to Mark Bernardin about this because he talked to Jason Reitman before that, and he's like, "I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that movie unless Bill Murray was there." And he kind of goes, like he said something wrong, and it's just like basically confirming that Bill Murray's going to be
Right.
in it.
But I think that, there's also, they do those things just to make it seem like they slipped, but they
I'm
didn't.
telling you
there's
right
a lot
now,
of,
it's gonna be so fucking dope to see. I'm guaranteed that farm that trailer was in is Ray's farm. Knowing that he had to take out a second mortgage just to get the firehouse in New York.
Ooh,
Yeah.
telling you.
Javi,
dude,
good
that'd
connection.
be dope. Yeah.
Also, Bill Murray has said that the only reason he hasn't done a Ghostbusters 3 up until now, and he just said this like today, the money. They never offered him the money he wanted to do it, and that's the only reason he hasn't done it so far.
Yeah.
And they,
Well, at least he's fucking honest.
yeah. I
So,
mean,
the money was fucking right.
dude, I know we talked about it before, that documentary, though, on Bill Murray, that last scene where the guy's playing the piano.
Oh,
I know
my
you-
God.
good.
Did you get to see
Yes,
that?
I did. I watched it.
What I like about Bill Murray, like,
What you like about Bill Murray?
for
Every
certain
fucking
directors
thing.
and certain writers, he doesn't give a shit about money.
Oh.
Like Wes Anderson, he did fucking Rushmore for $20,000,
Right.
and
Okay.
like whenever Wes Anderson will send him a script, he goes, "I'm in,"
Well,
just like that.
I think also Jason Reitman being attached to this and being the writer for it also
Yeah.
had a huge part because of his relationship with
His
Ivan
father,
Reitman
yeah,
and all the
that,
films
yeah.
that they did together. It's almost like, yeah, why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure at this point he's like a godfather to him anyways, He probably grew up with fucking Bill Murray, like rubbing his head as he was running around, a little
Can you
scamp.
imagine?
It'd be awesome. Dude, I want
I
Bill
totally
Murray in
get
it. I definitely want Bill Murray in it. And it's probably got that indie flavor that he likes, because Jason Reitman, mostly known for his indie films, so it's
Up
got
in
that.
the air.
All right, so
Sister's so hot though.
God damn it, she is.
Ponderosa.
Yeah, Ponderosa, man.
And then, do you ever see the behind the scenes video where she's got the tits on set and she's like, everyone's treating me differently? And I'm like, God damn it, they're right.
Why didn't you tell me you got those?
Jews.
All right, take it easy, Borat.
Very nice. Very nice.
I have the round neck.
Well, Doug, I love
tears,
that you
protects me
heard me
from
go,
the Jews.
When we were watching this video, you just got like,
All right, Marvel is
Mazel tov,
Mazel tov, Marvel casting call indicates a major villain's debut. So here is the casting. It claims to have received a casting breakdown for a character called the Benefactor. Marvel was reportedly looking for a male actor, preferably Caucasian, in their 40s to 60s. The actor will shoot their scene sometime this year in Atlanta. Who could the Benefactor be who is middle-aged?
Dr. Doom?
Wait, what is this for?
This is going to be for Spider-Man.
Oh, it's for Spider-Man.
So what Spider-Man character, 40 to 60,
Doc Ock.
the Benefactor, who's got money? Who's
Norman
who's the
Osborn.
Lex? There you go. I was going to say, it's going to be Osborn.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I did read that Norman Osborn is going to be into the MCU soon.
You cannot do the Sinister Six without the
Well, you
Green
gotta
Goblin.
have, that's
It's
like
impossible.
especially with the meme now that they have, like me and the boys hanging out from the old
I
Spider-Man
fucking love
cartoon.
those
I love
memes.
that
They're
fucking
great.
movie.
Wait, what does this mean?
So the old 60s Spider-Man cartoon, like it's really poorly animated.
Oh, yeah.
There's a meme going around. It's just like me and the boys, but it's Rhino, Vulture, Electro, and Green Goblin.
Fuck
And what's
yeah.
funny is like they all look high,
Oh, yeah, they look-
perpetually high, just like
I got to see this shit. Can somebody
pull
look
it
it
up
up real
real
quick?
especially Rhino. And it's fucking epic. He's like, ugh.
I definitely want to see the Sinister Six. I think that's something we
Like,
definitely need. And why else would you do Mysterio if you're not going to do the Sinister Six?
Like if you look at the Rhino from that Sinister Six, I can see Seth Rogen making a pretty badass Rhino.
really?
Yeah, just like
Just
a
'cause he's
stoned out,
stoned?
just like a stoned out looking Rhino.
So like that thing is like everywhere. It's like me and the boys doing something. They'll Photoshop them in front of like me and the boys go to the zoo or whatever else. Like
Yeah, I like that. This is good. Oh, that's fucking sweet. Did you guys hear about the X-Men Fantastic Four crossover movie that they were supposed to do back in 2011?
Is it maybe the same guy that made all movies?
Well, here's the thing. Fox had control at that time of X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, and I think one other property, Deadpool. And they decided when they heard the Avengers was coming out, they were going to do their version of the Avengers and try to do a crossover. And they had Zach Stentz work on a secret script. And basically what it would have been was X-Men versus Fantastic Four. And that was the whole plan. But the one cool thing I read about today was the way Reed Richards was going to take out Wolverine was he was going to stretch his molecules so much that he would be able to get in between his adamantium claws and chop them off from the inside. Ooh. I thought that was kind of cool. But It never happened because eventually they lost Daredevil and then X-Men. It would have been the X-Men from the Tim Story series.
Right.
And it just wasn't well received. And I think this was shortly after Rise of the Silver Surfer came out. How would you guys have felt about seeing X-Men versus Fantastic Four?
Given the track record with the people who were running the properties at that time, 2011, they didn't have a really good fucking name for themselves. I would not be that excited, honestly.
Right.
I feel like it'd be overkill. 2011, that was Avengers.
Yeah, it was Avengers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
And that was the whole point.
I mean, yeah. So after seeing that, and then knowing that they were making that, try to compete with that,
It wouldn't work.
yeah, it would have fucking tanked like train.
Maybe they, yeah. Oh, dear, nicely done. Nice. And they were planning on doing the same thing with Josh Trank's Fantastic Four.
I want to see a director's cut.
I do too.
Trank Fantastic Four
give us
because
Trank.
apparently it was supposed to be fucking the shit.
He got to film most of what he wanted, but he was still fighting them, and he was cut out of the
They
editing
took out
process.
so much of it.
And
also.
then they refilmed a bunch of it. But that's why I won't watch that version of the Fantastic Four. I will
Still
wait
yet to see it.
I will wait until they do.
Miles Teller?
Yeah, I will wait
Yeah.
until they can do a director's cut of that. Same thing with.
Justice League Snyder cut.
I'd love to see Snyder.
They're
cut
going
at
to do
this point.
that.
I think
We
they
talked
need to.
about this.
There's money
Whenever
to
the
be made.
DC, they're going to release it on the DC streaming website.
I think there's money to be made there.
Oh, did you hear that DC is like completely shutting down the DCU online thing?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, already. It's only
All
been
the
a
shows
year
are
in.
gone.
Oh no, yeah, because they canceled fucking Swamp Thing already
Yeah.
after one
Constant-
season.
Doom Patrol. The only thing that may
Titans?
survive is Titans, and that's a big fucking
I
maybe.
think a lot of people are trying to lobby for Netflix to sweep in and pick up Swamp Thing, depending on how well this one season does.
You know what?
Which would be fucking amazing.
I actually think you guys just put it in perspective. 100%. I bet Netflix is buying out the Warner Brother thing because of the Disney-Fox merger, along with pulling to Hulu.
Yeah, they
and
got
pulling
Hulu
to
now.
their own app. Which honestly, I don't know if Disney Plus is even going to happen now that they have Hulu.
right,
because
they
that's
would
their,
just make it one service.
they could just put that into one
Yes.
service. But maybe Netflix has went to Warner Brothers and
We'll buy
said,
the DC WB
because
properties.
if you go, and I know it's not just my Netflix. If you go to anyone's Netflix, what always shows up on the top of that? Flash, Supergirl,
Right.
and Arrow. And I don't care whose it is. Those are always touted, and they're highly watched on Netflix.
And they're going to lose so many properties whenever the Disney actually does release their streaming service.
They're gonna
They're
lose
gonna
like
lose half
50%.
their fucking shit.
Right.
So that would be the most genius move ever if
Right.
they did that. And just, all right, fuck you. We'll just make a super company also.
It's a move even John Stamos could get behind.
John fucking Stamos.
Stamos
brand. The
And
Stamos
look, and
brand.
look what Netflix did with like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage,
God,
Daredevil.
dude.
Jessica
The fucking-
Jones season 3 is coming out, though.
They-
No, I mean, but look what Netflix did with those shows. They could do the same thing for those fucking DC
Agreed.
shows.
Tanked them? Did you see what they did with Iron Fist, though?
I don't count Iron Fist. I don't think that happened,
Iron Fist could have been fucking dope.
but it wasn't.
I know.
I bet
it's
you,
horrible.
but that's a power move. I bet you they do that.
That would be
100%.
fucking genius.
That just makes a lot of sense, and I bet you Netflix is doing that, and that's a lot of original content. If you look at Star Trek Discovery, which is on Netflix,
Nerd.
it was all right, but there's a valid point behind this, and you're right.
Nerd.
Number one, number two, fuck you. Number three, here's the valid point. CBS and Netflix worked together to pay for the first season of Discovery, but in America, it was only available on CBS on the app when it first came out.
Yeah,
everywhere
you
else.
had to get the CBS streaming app.
Everywhere else, it was international. After about 6 months, then it came to Netflix because Netflix paid for half of it. But Netflix was not happy with what the turnout for the product was. That's actually why they went in, and the showrunners got fired halfway through the first season because Netflix was pissed. So Netflix refused to fund as much of the second season. They still retained the international rights to that show, and so they still have season 2 that goes up on there. But they were willing to take a huge risk with Discovery. I'm sure they would be able to take that same risk with Warner Brothers properties, knowing the payout on the other side, based upon, like I said, Arrow, Supergirl,
The Arrowverse.
and Flash. Yeah, it's a huge payout. That's, I mean, people
Like, they
watch
had,
this shit.
like Dark Horse, that's a DC property, right?
A subsidiary of
No.
DC, I believe.
Dark Horse-
At one point in time, it was a branch off of DC. Now I believe it's its
its
own
own
entity.
thing. What Netflix has coming to it really right now is Millar World. He sold all of his properties to them, so there's going to be a Kick-Ass show. There's going to be a Hit Girl show. There's going to be everything that he's created. Wanted. All that stuff can be turned into its own stuff now. So Netflix has cornered at least one portion of the comics world. Everyone keeps saying that Netflix is going to be killed by this Disney Plus. There's no way. I don't see it happening. Netflix is a staple.
It's everything else is the wayside of these
Yeah.
two.
Did you see how many Emmys John Stamos had to yell at in the background? Yes, individually he called them out.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Dark Phoenix international box office and how it won't save the X-Men finale. All right, over the weekend it made $103.7 million all across the world. The movie cost $200 million. You think between another $100 to $200 million to promote this son of a bitch. This is the last. It did not do well. We talked about the ratings for this movie are very low.
You know what? And we watched that trailer, and it had the clip with the Quicksilver scene where they're actually going to space, and it looked fucking dope. And then they played the trailer. The music fucking fit the tone. Everything, like, it looked like it was actually going to be one of the better outings from them in a long time. And yeah, man, it's tanking.
It's tanking.
Hard. Yeah.
It's tanking like Josh Tank again.
Tank like Trank.
Oh, tanking like Trankin. But we're going to talk about our history with X-Men and this film series and all of it after these messages.
Yeah.
Do you like vagina?
Uh-huh.
Then, boy, do I got a vagina for you.
Ooh, listen to this.
Get weird.
Oh, no, it's
all
not
good.
weird. It's just,
No, man, we're just talking. We were just recording.
We're staying on topic is all. So the topic today will be X-Men and our history with it. We didn't go see the movie. We wanted to see the movie. Well, me and Jake wanted to see the movie.
And Hobbs
he
did
didn't
it
wear the white
rightfully
pants.
so.
And Javi said, I'm not going to fucking movie, you piece of shit.
I'm not wearing my movie watching pants. It was like we're in the movie now.
Dude, it was
the same thing you do in the movie.
Did you see the spit take he did too? The wall is like covered. Oh my god, dude. My wall. My wall. It's fucking asshole. Hey, I'm keeping it in though. Javi's not wearing his movie watch. And it's a legit thing. Javi goes, I usually wear jeans if I'm going out. I was wearing sweatpants. We can't go to the movies. I'm like, you fucking bitch.
You know, it's pitch black in there, pretty much.
Yeah, and you would fit in, dude. You're wearing like literally like jazz clothes right now.
Like when I scare the servers, like, oh god, I didn't see you in your chair.
Dude,
And it's Tuesday, you know, your favorite server might be working today.
oh, dude, fucking enchilada boy or whatever his name. All I remember was he was gay as shit.
He
and
was
there
sassy as
and
fuck.
there was a mariachi band playing in the middle of the movie. We're like, what the fuck? Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And if you're enjoying the podcast today, please share with your friends. It's the only way we can grow this network. With that said, back to the podcast. So anyhow, back to X-Men. For you guys, like, what is your first memory of the X-Men? What was the first time you became aware that this comic existed and these characters existed?
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year was 1990-something.
Okay.
I was about 5.
All right.
I always had to, like, thank for watching Saturday morning cartoons. And all of a sudden, Fox brought out this new show, 9 a.m. And all of a sudden, now, X-Men. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest cartoon I've ever seen. First episode,
Still is.
it opens up to like fucking Wolverine and the X-Men going ham on some Sentinels. That's the episode where Morph dies.
Yep.
Because he dies in the very first episode of the series. And then Wolverine goes crazy. He's like all distraught and shit.
Berserk.
Yeah. And it was just fucking, I was hooked from then on.
Right.
And I remember just really liking Cyclops. I don't know why he gets as much hate.
Dude, what
as
is
he does.
it? And I'm going to say this in the nicest way. Indie emo people love Cyclops. Is it because he always gets shit on?
I think so.
Because I'm not even joking. Any indie emo person I've ever met loves fucking Cyclops. They're like, he's just the best. I don't know what it is about him.
I don't think he's the best, but I always kind of like Cyclops also, and I know he gets shit on.
Okay, so what's your first moment that you had with the X-Men? What's your first thing that you saw that let you know that it existed?
Well, probably about 8 years old, and started getting into a little thing called Toy Biz. Action figures. There's a Wolverine figurine that had pop-out claws. He puts these little fucking things in on his forearms, and these fucking claws popped out. We didn't know what it was, me and my cousin, who's a year older than me. We started getting into comics, like, right around that point. And then on my 9th birthday, he gave me X-Men #1 by Jim Lee. So I get the variant cover with Wolverine and Cyclops on the cover. So I got to pull out fucking the full team on there where they're fighting Magneto, and then X-Men 2 and 3 with that. So that became my love affair with X-Men and Marvel Comics at that point.
Yeah.
Like I was like, holy shit, this is what the fuck I'm fucking loving right now. And from then on, yeah, it's just always been, like, I was a huge Wolverine fan, like most X-Men fans are. Like, obviously, he's the core of the fucking group. We've got the old reprint from 1963 after that.
What, the original
Yeah.
X-Men?
Yeah, but as a reprint, had the, the fucking silver edge around the ends of it.
And you can't play down how big the X-Men were in the 90s. Combined with the cartoon, combined with Jim Lee doing his run on that.
The cartoon was based on the Jim Lee run.
Even throughout the 80s, but really the 90s is whenever it hit hard. And I mean hard. Chris Claremont was the major writer for X-Men for 20, 30 years, something like that. He had like the longest run.
Claremont wrote the best of the series. He did the fucking Dark Phoenix saga.
He did Days of Future Past.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. In the 90s is when it hit. And I will say you guys hit it both. The Jim Lee and the cartoon and the toys. Those toys were unfucking believable. And yes, you're right, the cards. Because back in the 90s,
those flares, man.
Card collecting was huge.
Those were also done by, no, not even the flares. The actual X-Men fucking first series cards were all done by Jim Lee. He drew and pinned every fucking person on there, the X-Force, even characters that you didn't even fucking know about, but these people had been in the Uncanny X-Men at that time, the lore. And they switched it up to where it was the X-Men Blue Team and the X-Men Gold Team, whereas the X-Men Blue Team was comprised of Wolverine, Cyclops, Rogue, Gambit, Beast, whereas the Uncanny X-Men at that time were Storm, Colossus, and like the B-Team members, pretty much. I digress. I forget where I was going.
No, it's fine. Well, I want to point out my first interaction was both of what you guys said. I had a friend who lived up the road, Brad Jones. Shout out to you, Brad. You still the shit.
What's up, Brad?
We've called him out before, and you're still awesome. He was the baby of his family, so they just got him whatever he wanted. And he had like the most badass collection of X-Men toys.
I had them all also.
I remember the first one I saw was Sabretooth with the giant mane. Yep. And I just remember thinking, whoa, that's cool. And Wolverine, and he's the one who introduced me because the cartoon came out at the same time. And of course, we watched that religiously. And to the point where I remember watching the Phoenix storyline. Yeah. And my mom sat down and watched it with us, and she's like, this is really cool. We're like, fuck yeah, it's really cool, Mom. Like, this shit's the shit. So she loved watching the X-Men with us.
My parents were on board with my obsession with it also. They bought me all the fucking ones that I wanted. So I had, like, every iteration of Cable that ever came out. So, like, I remember when X-Force fucking first came out, I had every single one of those up until X-Force, like, number 15. I bought every single one. I still have them all at my house. I have the first appearance of Deadpool. I had the first appearance of Gambit, which was Uncanny X-Men. So, yeah. So, like, I got into comics, but then we got into comic book trading.
And what you just brought up is there's so many characters. And that's why I think X-Men works, just like Star Wars with the extended universe. You can follow the main characters, that's fine.
Right.
But when you get into it, there's so many side characters that are interesting. So top three, who are your top three X-Men characters that you love? I'll give you my top three real quick.
Yeah.
Wolverine. Gotta love Wolverine. Everyone loves Wolverine. Yeah. You know, just gone beast mode, alpha male, fucking cares about everyone. He's a father figure, but he's also the lone wolf. My second character...
He's also relatable. He's like 5 foot nothing.
Oh, yeah, and he's covered in hair. Yeah, he's the Robin Williams of the fucking...
That would have been the best fucking casting, though, honestly. Robin Williams as Wolverine back in fucking early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been it.
Williams could have killed that shit. I will say second favorite character would have to be Gambit, just because...
I loved Gambit back then also.
I like the outfit, I like the head thing, I like the costume.
It was about the appearance of him also.
And what you could always do is you could always, just like Donatello, take that broom, screw off the end, and you could be Gambit like that because you had the bow.
Yep, you got the bow staff. And how easy is it to find a pack of bicycle cards in your house at any given time?
And then you try to talk with the Cajun, whatever the Cajun accent is.
Mon ami. You gotta say mon ami and mon cher.
Mon ami, come on. Yeah. And then my third favorite, just because the way he looks, Omega Red. I fucking
Omega Red,
Omega
Arkady Rozovich was the fucking shit.
Omega Red.
So you said favorite X-Men. You didn't say favorite X-Men villains. Okay?
Dude,
so let's just clarify this.
No, good.
So then, for me, it was an obsession. Mm-hmm. I fucking had all this shit. But X-Men, Wolverine, Gambit, and the Blue Archangel. Whenever, after fucking Apocalypse transformed Warren Worthington III from regular Angel to Archangel with the fucking metal wings, that was one of the dopest looking characters ever. Like, the whole suit was fucking badass. It's almost like Professor Hulk's suit in Endgame. Yeah. Like, it's almost like the same kind of style. Like, that shit was fucking deadly,
and he just looks like a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I would say Nightcrawler now, too, though. I fucking love Nightcrawler. Everything about Nightcrawler. I love his religious background.
Yeah.
I love the way the character has high morals. I love the way he interacts. And the storyline where he is the son of Mystique. You know, that makes me fucking happy.
And Azazel.
Oh, and Azazel, the demon.
Yeah.
yeah.
X-Men First Class.
I
His
apologize.
dad was fucking dope in that.
I'm getting away.
No,
What were you? You said
fucking Logan, bro.
I remember being younger. I was probably 18, 19, and we were playing music with another band. Deadlift was the name of the band. They were like a Christian metal band. And now the guitar player is in the band called Neocracy, which my friend Big Nick is in. He's been in forever. But he has like Wolverine shit all over his apartment. He had sketches. It was so cool to see somebody who was like 10 years older than me just being like, I fucking love this shit.
So they used to have these comics called Marvel Comics Presents, and it was a 2-part comic. On one side, you had one comic, you flip it over, you got another comic. There was a run called Weapon X on there, which was the creation of Wolverine whenever he was being operated in Canada.
And it's that classic 80s looking head.
Oh,
that he has
dude,
with the
it was
wires
so
and
graphic, too, because
So
he was
cool.
fucking stabbing motherfuckers in the skull. They were on fire. He was on fire on, like, the fucking second to last issue. He was fucking on fire, like, completely bald, just burn up. Weapon X was this shit.
Javi,
Jazzed
real
up.
quick, what is your 3 X-Men?
Cyclops, Colossus,
Class.
and Gambit.
Yeah.
And I like Gambit because he was in love with Rogue, but they couldn't be together because she would kill him.
But
And I really like that.
But they discovered he was immune to her powers because they actually kissed him, like X-Men number 7.
Because he could
Claremont
absorb
run.
the powers, and wouldn't that
Right.
why?
So that's another thing that I never got about Gambit as I got older. Like, why use fucking playing cards? Like, you could just
could use
easily.
anything.
Well, he could charge up a fucking mountain. It would just take him forever.
Right.
But like a baseball would take just like little time. Like, fucking throw those. That would cause more damage than a goddamn playing card.
But
right?
he played his character, though. He's like a Louisianian fucking
Yeah, he's a card shark.
He's a Cajun.
Card shark.
Filthy, filthy Cajun.
He is, man. I'm telling you about some filthy Cajuns.
Oh yeah, you can.
Probably could. But let's get back to Weapons X and that storyline. And let's talk about the movies. Did they do that justice in the movies, you feel?
The only movie that did any justice to Wolverine was Logan, and I think we all know this. The Wolverine Origins movie kind of touched on it. The opening scenes with him going through time, like living throughout this lifetime from the 1700s, fighting through all the wars and shit.
That was cool.
That was fucking dope as shit.
That was pretty much it.
Let's get into it. Let's start with our love of X-Men. The 90s was there. We grew up with it. It definitely was the Marvel property. People forget Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, the Hulk. No one
At
gave
that point in time, everybody was like, who?
Yeah,
They were the lessers. What we
Fantastic Four, Avengers were kind of a joke. Spider-Man always kind of.
Spider-Man always stopped.
Spider-Man in the 90s, that
always
cartoon
held
was the
out.
shit.
Always
Yeah, Todd McFarlane's fucking wrote on there, and I forget who the writer was for him, but that was always dope.
Exactly. And then X-Men. That was the Marvel in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's what kept Marvel alive because people were buying X-Men left and right. So eventually, what we get is Blade, and Blade transitions into the first film that was based on a comic book that did any bang. And so that came out. No one really knew what it was, but everyone went to see it. You know, Wesley Snipes was the shit.
hot.
That movie was fucking awesome. That opening scene at the rave. So they're like, okay, maybe comic book movies will work. Well, what do we have? And so out of nowhere, she's in that movie. Yeah, at the beginning, she is. Yeah, she's also in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yeah.
She's also in a bunch of porno.
And she's also in a bunch of porno that if you watch, she might go to jail.
Yeah,
'cause
she was 16, 15.
Blade does really well where they go, well, what do we have? And I remember when they first announced that X-Men was being made. And I was like, whoa, what? They're going to make a fucking X-Men movie? Because this is around the time the Phantom Menace came out. And I remember that being kind of tied in the back of my head. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I don't care who's directing. I don't care what's going on. I've got to see this fucking movie. So the next year, X-Men comes out. This is about the time where I get into reading ancient cool news every day.
Yep.
And I get into movie news to the point where, like, every morning when I woke up, I looked at the movie news, and I still do that every day. I go, what's in the movie news?
Moviepoopshoot.com.
Oh, dude, all of that shit. That's basically what it was. That's what he was making fun of. So the movie comes out. My friend Jason Steiner at the time, he goes, you want to go see this movie? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to see the X-Men. Let's go. So we end up in the movies. I'm like, this is awesome.
It was great.
I was blown away by X-Men. I was like, this is everything I want. It's Wolverine. Like the first cartoon, they did Jubilee, but they did Rogue in this, but it kind of followed the same thing the cartoon did for the first episode. Patrick Stewart, we talked about before, the Wizard.
Yeah, where
they cast the whole thing.
Their dream cast of who they would
And then
be.
Patrick Stewart gets in there, and I'm a huge Next Generation fan, which I was going to say another thing that I read was the Next Generation meets the X-Men. There's an actual novelization about that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I read that when I was younger. Nerd. The movie, what did you guys think about the first X-Men movie?
I loved it. I was a sophomore in high school, playing Dreamcast at the time whenever it came out. You know, fucking playing some Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and shit on there. And I was blown away. I was like, this is fucking great. Like, I can't believe they actually did it.
Yeah, so what do you think, Javi?
Oh, man. I really love the first one. It was so fucking good. I do, however, wish they would have gone with Jubilee instead of Rogue.
Would have been great. I think Jubilee's a character of the 90s, and this was the 2000s, which in that movie...
It was made in 99, wasn't it?
It was made in 99.
It was, but
July, if I remember
really
correctly.
brings out the 2000s, is what it's saying. This is after The Matrix. Everyone's wearing black leather. They actually make a joke on the spandex. He's like, what do you want, yellow and blue spandex?
Yellow and blue spandex.
But the movie fucking works. And one of my favorite things Kevin Smith has ever said, he goes, that movie's great up until the third act when they fight in the gift shop.
Yeah.
Because they
ran out of money. Yeah.
But it's kind of
It's so
true.
good.
That third act is kind
Yeah.
of like, what the fuck? But there's so many things that happen in that movie. Magneto, just, turning the guns against the police.
Yeah.
That was a badass.
Whenever...
I can't stop them all, Charles.
Yeah, and then at the end, whenever Wolverine's like, what do you want me for? And he's like, why has it always got to be about you? And I was just like, holy shit, that's so good. I've watched that movie so many times.
Okay, yeah, and that opening scene where he's cage fighting with that motherfucker.
Oh,
and,
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
On beast mode.
God damn, dude!
And
Like
just
they
the
nailed the tone.
Yeah.
honestly, a gritty remake of the cartoon, essentially.
And they don't fuck around because that opening scene where it happens in Auschwitz, that's fucked up. That literally is with the, like,
Right.
him pulling down, like, the stuff.
And the callback that they did in First Class, also from the same thing,
Right.
was fucking
The
amazing.
exact same scene.
But X2,
Yeah, let's just get into it. X-Men 1 was good. It set up the characters. Everything works in that movie, excluding Halle Berry as Storm. She sucks in that movie. Everyone knew it. Everyone saw it. Fuck her.
What happens to a Toad when he gets struck by lightning?
Yeah, that's the dumbest shit ever.
okay, yeah, why the fucking
thank you-
Toad, man?
thank you for pulling that.
Goddamn Darth Maul is fucking Toad. Like, are you kidding me? I never understood that goddamn character.
You know what? It was fine with me, but at the same time, fuck that.
Toad has a wicked tongue, Senator.
But you're right. Let's get to X2. X2 is the pinnacle of the original three.
X2 of the original 3 was the end game
Oh, it was so good.
of the X-Men movie.
And you know
Yeah.
what's great is the villain isn't even a fucking mutant.
It's a fucking guy.
It's a guy, and
It's the guy who started the Weapon X project.
Dude, it's so good. And
Stryker.
they tied it in with his amnesia, and then telling you just enough of his backstory.
And it's Brian Cox.
Yes, dude, and he's awesome. And the best part
The
is
OG Hannibal Lecter.
right?
You get
Manhunter.
Wolverine Berserker Rage in that movie. You get whenever they come into the school, he fucking goes crazy, puts the closh of the guy right into the refrigerator.
You see Colossus.
Colossus, like,
Yeah.
You see
like
the fucking...
he just enters human,
Yep.
like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
I get fucking goosebumps just thinking about
Yeah,
it. He looks
that
at it,
scene
and he
was
just walks in, he just
fucking
seems get
dope.
thrown out the door.
Yep.
Siren was in it, Banshee's sister.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is all the little cameos of the different X-Men characters who were
So
kids
the
in the
true
school.
X-Men fans truly know. They're like, holy shit, there's fucking... Like, even Jubilee was in it also.
X2 in the beginning of the museum scene when they're being
Yep.
made fun of and shit, and she starts to spark up. And then that's when Pyro starts to scene.
Was that a deleted scene? I feel
It was deleted
I
scene.
feel like
Her
that's a
part
deleted
was.
scene.
It was.
But in that whole scene, her part was the only one that was cut. Because that scene had like Pyro showing off and Professor X freezes everybody. Goes, makes me feel like showing off.
That was cool.
Don't.
Pyro, I think he was the first villain that you faced in the X-Men arcade also.
I don't know.
I think so.
But
Yeah.
you're right. There was an A story and a B story to that movie that worked. The A story being Wolverine, Jean Grey, Xavier, and him dealing with that. And then the B story of the kids, Iceman, Rogue, and Pyro dealing with, being mutants.
Yeah.
And the allegory of the gay allegory. Now, X-Men's
It's
always been done.
actually a multi-allegory for civil rights.
Civil rights.
Yeah,
And
and,
then
just rights in general.
Well, yeah,
Like
exactly.
that, yeah.
So whenever you get to that scene, though, where the mother says, she goes, have you just not tried not being a mutant? But, I mean, the director was...
Pray the gay away.
But that's the thing, is it was an allegory for the outcast.
Yeah.
You're right. And it was an allegory for racism a lot
Right.
in the 60s and 70s.
No, it was all of it.
And it turned to that. But that whole movie works on a level that is unfucking believable. It's so good. Like,
Right.
that X2 is so good. And that ending with the Phoenix...
Wait a second. The beginning with Nightcrawler and the fucking
Oh,
White House.
right.
Holy shit,
Vamping
dude.
through that motherfucker
Yeah, and he
like
let
crazy.
the fucking knife right next to the goddamn president's head. Like, bitch, you're...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, he's going berserker.
You're right. That opening with the bamping through there, and then having him being controlled by the mutant, where they're in that place-
Cerebro?
Cerebro, having the room that he made that he put Jason in there, and he was going to kill all the mutants. Basically, is what
Right.
was going to happen. And then
Was
they
that
had,
Brad Dourif?
No, that was Donnie Wahlberg, actually.
Was it really?
That was a Wahlberg.
No shit. New Kid on the Block?
New Kid on the
God
Block.
damn.
He's good in that too. He
Good
doesn't
call,
say anything.
man. I didn't know that. I thought it was Brad Dourif for some reason.
But he bamps into the room, bamps out of the room, does a little bamf on the way out. And that whole ending scene where the whole fucking dam's coming down and everything, and how he's sitting in the snow at the end in the chains, and he's just like, I created you, you're a monster. And he's like, I don't have to be what you want me to be. And he walks away. And then Jean Grey dies at the end of that movie too, and you see the Phoenix coming in underneath the water.
Yeah. When Magneto's in the fucking glass cell.
Oh my god!
Okay,
cool.
And they put the fucking iron into the fucking dude's
Yeah.
diet, and he fucking sucks out the fucking.
he goes,
oh my god! And he
stands up and he goes-
carves the metal
goes,
There's
disc.
too much
I love when he
iron
goes,
in blood.
there's something different about you.
Yeah, dude. How fucking
Here it
good
is.
is that? Like that is fucking. That
chills.
is Magneto right
is really
there.
good.
That's fucking so
Well,
goddamn
that's
good.
We haven't talked about the conflict between him and Professor X and how well that is done. Like, they respect each other. They're friends. They have a history.
They're like
What?
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
What a good
Exactly.
comparison.
That's
dude.
exactly.
Think about it.
That's exactly.
Martin
it.
Luther King, Professor X, wants to get a way to equality through peace. And Magneto's like, no, fuck that shit. They're going to stomp all over us. We got to take our equality and our rights by force.
God damn,
That is
that's good.
exactly what it is. That's a fucking
And it
great
speaks
call.
of the times.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
60s.
63 is whenever the first X-Men came out. The very first one.
Nice
and it was
call,
the same fucking... Yeah, that's great.
But those guys, too, those two actors, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, have known each other's.
They're
since
best friends.
Yeah.
Long
To this day,
time.
yeah.
So that's one of the other reasons that reads so well in those movies, is you can see they've
It's
been
a-
friends for years.
Natural. Whenever they're talking on
Exactly.
screen, they're acting together.
So good, too.
Yeah.
Every scene they're in is just like the
Yeah.
pinnacle. It's that and Wolverine. And Hugh Jackman. Who the fuck was Hugh Jackman? Did you guys know who the
You're
fuck
the
Hugh
fucking
Jackman is?
stuntman
He was
before
nobody.
that.
Where the fuck did he come from, dude?
And a lot of people were really up in arms about him being fucking 6'2"
Yeah.
and hairless.
Yeah.
But you know what? He is our Wolverine in a sense. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he pretty much made his stamp on Wolverine.
yeah, it's synonymous.
Like, even, like, I fucking love Keanu Reeves, and he's gunning hard for Wolverine, and it's kind of like, whoa,
I think-
maybe you wouldn't be the best Wolverine?
Yeah, you gotta go a little bit younger. A lot younger, I
I
think.
think
Not
Tom
even
Hardy
younger.
would be a better choice. He's
They
about the
wanted
right
to do
height.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I know. And the
He's short and stocky
fucking
like Wolverine.
the artwork that they did up on him, with the fucking cigar in his mouth and everything, like that is
Totally. That whole movie just fucking works.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
It was good from start to finish.
It's an amazing
X2
movie.
is the best of the X-Men.
It's the
series,
best
I
of
believe.
the best, hands down. Out
It
of all
might
six,
be the best
it's
out
the
of all
best.
the movies.
I really did like Days of Future Past, but we'll get there.
Yes. So X-Men 3 is where it kind of falls apart because Bryan Singer...
Kelsey Grammer for the win.
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer's not bad in it, but the whole movie, for the most part, is not great. And the reason why is it's two separate scripts they wrote and they combined. They had the Phoenix stuff and then they had the Cure stuff.
They're trying to cram too much story
It's
into
too
one
much,
fucking
dude.
thing.
Way
you know?
too much. And I think he nailed a lot of the same atmosphere that Bryan Singer had while doing it a little more cartoony, but Brett Ratner did not do that movie justice. There are moments in it, though, like I said, that are pretty decent. They should have either do Phoenix, which the third movie from the second movie was heading towards, or do the other one. And honestly, at the end of the day, the movie just doesn't work.
Yeah,
There's
so
some cool scenes in it, but other than that,
There was only
pushed out.
like three moments that really stuck out to me. Professor X being taken out. Tell me that scene was a fucking badass. At the end of the day, I think the Phoenix Saga is a hard one to put to film. And you gotta stop. You're never gonna do it. It is never gonna happen.
well, only if MCU has it in their hands.
if MCU has it and they could build up to it over a course of fucking years,
Yeah.
maybe. But if you're gonna have like 3 movies, you're gonna finish off with a Phoenix Saga, get the fuck out. You should lose your
Well,
job
also-
immediately.
We get a solid 3-year run out of MCU on X-Men movies, and they build up to the Phoenix Saga.
Like, I'd say, tear the whole X-Men franchise down, fucking start up, build it up MCU style, have certain phases that eventually build up to Phoenix.
Right.
In this movie, this version of it doesn't work. She mostly just stands around and looks angry and anorexic.
That's all she
And
does.
I'm like, okay, and they're like, if this doesn't work out, we've got our secret weapon back here. It's like, well, she's not so fucking secret. She's standing right there looking like the Crow and shit like that.
Right.
There are scenes in the movie I like. I like that Cyclops goes back to the lake where she dies, or the,
That really bummed me
the
out.
dam.
That he got
does
done
at
in
the
so
very
fast.
fucking beginning.
Yeah, he gets offed. And I mean, that was literally, was that because he went and did Bryan Singer's other movie, Superman Returns, as the cuck?
And he still got fucked over in
That
that one also.
one too. And that guy doesn't age either, right?
Maybe he is
James
really a
Marsden?
cuck. He's like, loves these roles
He
where
gets
he gets
cucked,
fucked
man.
over. He got fucked over the Notebook. He got
Yeah.
fucked over in Superman. He
And
got fucked over in
and he's in the
X-Men
new
3.
he's in the new Sonic movie,
Which I'm
that's coming
sure
out.
Sonic is going to fuck him over
Yeah,
also.
he's gonna
so
cut
now-
him. I agree with you. Secondly, there are a couple scenes that I like in that movie. Like I said, I like whenever she wakes up from the sleep and she breaks that X-Men door and it just like disintegrates it out. I like whenever Iceman ices out. I thought that was cool, even
Yeah.
when I saw it in theaters.
You should have
It looked more true to Iceman.
I like that a lot. And then the third thing I do like whenever he's coming at her at the end, and she's
That
like,
scene is badass.
she's pushing like all that power towards him, and it's like disintegrating Wolverine's flesh off him. You can see
He's
the
still
adamantium.
fucking charging.
I was like, that's cool,
Yeah.
but it wasn't earned. It was a cool looking scene, but it wasn't earned.
Unearned.
The Juggernaut, bitch. I wasn't against
The
it.
Juggernauts!
It wasn't against it, but it was not the Juggernauts.
Yeah.
But,
But I love that they actually paid homage to a fan
Video.
creation
On YouTube in the early days.
Exactly. One of the first YouTube.
Oh, the
videos.
motherfucker's looking at blood.
Yeah, I like that.
Motherfucker, I'm a hairstylist and I do stripping I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
I did like that. At the same time, I understand why people don't like it. And Deadpool 2 did a much better version of Juggernaut, who looks like Juggernaut.
The Juggernauts. The motherfucking Juggernauts.
I really enjoyed the scene where she took out Professor X. There's something I really like about how everything just goes still, and he just like turns to Wolverine.
Yeah.
I
And
think
just
we all.
fucking- and then Magneto goes, Charles! And it kind of shows that Magneto really did care about Xavier to a great deal. So was like, oh, fuck. He's like, my girl, what the fuck did you just do?
Right.
Like I said, if you would have focused on the Phoenix, and that Phoenix shit would have worked. And then you got this cure thing in there.
Famke Janssen.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
That was like the hottest bitch in the fucking mid to late
Dude,
90s.
the
So like, that was
faculty?
great. She did great and
Remember in
everything.
the faculty?
Goldeneye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whenever she's killing everyone.
She's got legs
damn,
for days.
Oh, for days. Oh, God. That movie, the other thing I want to say is when it ended, was in theaters, watching it, first like showing, first night it came out. The end, whenever they go through the whole credits and does the post-credits thing where Charles wakes up in his twin brother's
Oh,
body
God, that just
and
pissed
says
me off so
Mara.
fucking bad.
The whole, you're right, the whole theater was silent, and I go, yay! And I hear 300 other people go, boo! I was like, oh shit!
I didn't mean it.
I was being sarcastic! You don't speak sarcasm? And my girlfriend at the time was like, what is wrong with all you fucking nerds? Like, I was like, you don't get it. That movie sucked.
That's so fucking. That was such a stupid.
It was a
fucking
letdown
plot
of a movie.
point. Like, okay, so they introduced Moira.
Moira
Taggart,
Taggart,
yeah.
So that was like okay, but still, all that was fan service to the fucking
100%.
fans of the cartoon or whatever else, because that was a huge part of the cartoon. But god damn, really, you transferred your mind to your twin brother who doesn't even look like you, but you come back looking like.
Well, that was like foreshadowing because
If
they
you can
mentioned
do
something
that,
bad in the movie.
why are you paralyzed? If you can do that, why are you
And
paralyzed?
that's the thing. This is where the X-Men series, the franchise, it gets broken. The movies don't count towards each other. They work against each other, if anything. You've got repeating X-Men, as in you have Archangel already in the third movie, but now he's back later in X-Men Apocalypse. After that, I guess something happened, and they decided they were going to do one-off movies, and there were talk about doing two.
The Origins.
The Origins.
They were going to do a Magneto Origins,
They
a
were gonna do-
Wolverine Origins,
Exactly.
and another Origins. I
Exactly.
forget which one it was.
So what ended up happening is
Gambit.
X-Men Origins comes out. X-Men Origins Wolverine, I should say, comes out, and that was to be the first. So that movie.
It's just that whole fucking series. is
Okay.
garbage.
Fucking bullshit.
Okay, real quick, how do we feel about X-Men Origins
I
then?
fucking won my ass for all the X-Men Origins.
I love the intro. I really do.
Okay, let's
That
talk
is one
about
of
that.
the
You brought
better-
that up already with Liev Schreiber as Saber
Them going through time, everything else, him fighting in all the fucking wars, that shit was dope.
Like I really,
totally
like,
fucking bought that.
When he was going through the wars, I really would have loved to have seen Cypher, because Cypher was the only villain that Wolverine ever truly feared. Like to the point where it, like shook him to his core, and he was what Wolverine's command sergeant in World War II.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe we'll get a Cypher fucking cameo, but nope.
Which is also confusing because there's also a huge X-Men villain called Cyber.
Cypher was the mutant that never mind. I'm thinking of Cypher.
Yeah, I was gonna say
With the
Cypher
metal
can.
arms.
My mutant ability is I can decode any language. What the fuck? You're useless.
I'm glad you're dead, Cypher.
Yeah. Can we just talk about how poorly they treated the Deadpool character.
All right, yeah.
Wade Wilson, and even fucking Ryan Reynolds knew it. The entire fucking people knew it. The Merc with a mouth has no mouth at the end.
Okay.
And Scott Summers' powers, and fucking
He was in
Wolverine's
Amalgamation,
powers.
yeah, because he had the blades coming out and stuff.
It's so fucking stupid.
But that opening scene works.
Yeah.
The showing him as the little Lord Fauntleroy or whatever it
Yeah.
was. The Lord Fauntleroy.
Sorry, John.
And then the scene after that where they have like the infiltrating the compound, that worked too. That was pretty cool.
Even the opening with him and his wife, and he's a lumberjack in the fucking forest.
Yeah.
All that shit worked up
works.
until he had to team up with the old people.
Right.
He's
And
like,
that's-
"Did you call me Blob?" No, I said Bub.
Yeah, that's when the movie kind of falls apart. Now, I like the movie for how out of
Can
control.
we just blame it all on Black Eyed Peas' Will I Am?
100%. 100%, because he brought him into this. No, you're right. The movie is not good, but it is very cartoony and over the top.
But not in
I
a
like
good
a
way.
little bit of
That
that.
scene where he's fighting Gambit and he's cutting the fucking fire escape over and
Yep.
over furiously, it looks so goddamn
Even the way they do
stupid.
the closet sometimes,
Oh,
it doesn't work.
in the mirror.
But exactly.
Tink, tink,
They're
they look so fucking fake.
It looks ridiculous. Now, keep in mind, there was a released bootleg of the movie that came out a month and a half
I remember.
before the
I
movie came
actually had a
out.
copy of it.
And I did too. And that's the first time I saw it. I watched the bootleg with the unfinished stuff. But at the same time, the movie wasn't great. And I knew that as I was watching because I don't like the fact that his wife was in on the thing the whole time and she was against him just to get back her sister. And I'm just like,
Dude,
well, that was shitty. That was
seeing it
dumb.
on fucking open day, and I'm fucking watching it, I just had this sinking fucking
Ah,
feeling in my
that's so
stomach,
lame.
and I was like, oh god, they're fucking it up so fucking bad. Are you kidding me? It's
And
just
how about
like,
when it got to Amnesia Bullet?
Oh
How did you
my-
feel about Amnesia
oh
Bullet?
my god, dude.
Was that when you went, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm out?
That's kind of when you have like a pack of
Fucking stupid. Yeah, dude. Seriously.
Ah, that's
Well,
lame.
I'm officially dead on the inside.
Yeah, dude. You took my favorite character and you turned him into shit.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, let's talk
But
about...
goddamn, did they redeem it with Logan? Can we just skip the rest of the origins? and
No.
go straight to Logan?
We still gotta go to fucking...
We're good. We got to go to X-Men First Class
Yep.
because technically we did get the Magneto origin movie within X-Men First Class,
Yep.
which
And we also...
totally redeemed
And we
it.
got... Yeah.
That movie is
Yeah.
so fucking good.
Well, and then the Charles Xavier origin.
Well,
Like,
let's
I'm
talk
just saying,
about
like-
what that is. Matthew Vaughn directed that movie. Matthew Vaughn was supposed to direct X-Men 3, but he left the production of X-Men 3 because he didn't want to leave England for a certain period of time. The movie had to be made. And he said, I don't have enough time to prep X-Men 3, so I don't want to make this. Now, he was just coming off of Layer Cake at the time. He
Yeah.
wasn't well known.
fucking movie.
Layer Cake is awesome.
Daniel Craig.
He wasn't well known. That ending, too. So fucking good.
Dope.
So he wasn't well known, but he was supposed to do the movie. People were excited. Then Brett Ratner got brought on. He ended up doing X-Men First Class, which he was given even less time. But god damn it, he brought in Kevin Bacon. And god damn it, he brought in Fast.
Killed it.
And god damn it, he brought in
He fucking killed it.
McAvoy. And he just fucking murdered it. That movie is 1970s, 1960s. What is it set?
60s.
60s fucking
And it
goodness,
actually
dude.
takes place at the time of the first X-Men comic,
It's got
I believe.
fucking
64.
cool outfits for the characters. Got a great storyline with the Hell Club.
Yep.
Everything's done. Kevin Bacon's a beast. They redo the opening scene
Great
from the first X-Men
fucking
movie.
villain. Honestly,
God
he
damn it.
fucking nailed it. He's
Sebastian
like, you know
Shaw.
what my power is? Absorbing power. Like,
Bringing in
God
the
damn,
espionage
dude.
and shit like that.
Dude, I want
having
that,
it take
like,
place during
the
the Cuban
Cold
Missile
War.
Crisis.
Yeah, man.
Fucking so good. Good.
I know that Professor X was kind of a douche in that
Oh,
one, too. Like,
absolutely.
when
They
he-
tell
like,
him
it's like, wow, he was kind of an asshole back in the day.
He's like, that's a very groovy mutation. He was fucking Austin Powers, pretty much.
dude.
He was like heterochromia.
Oh, dude, he's getting his dick sucked all the time.
yeah.
Left and
Good
right.
for him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. And then having Magneto and his vengeance storyline, and the fact that at one point they do go to get Wolverine, he's like, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Okay.
And they
Fuck
just
off.
bounce. But,
And we'll get back to that later.
but bringing in the team and putting them together and showing the First Class, which, it's called, and showing these mutants and showing how they turn, that whole movie just works.
Yeah, but
That's
they
a ton
chose
of
some
fun.
fucking shitty mutants in
You're
that
right.
also, though.
They did. Because when they got Havoc, they got...
Havoc was awesome.
was
Okay, so here's the deal. Havoc is Cyclops' younger brother.
Yeah.
These movies, he's his older brother, I think.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he is. 63, bro.
Yeah. Who
on,
else
yeah.
did they do? They did Banshee.
They did Banshee. What was Darwin?
Darwin. That is one character that should have lived. I think they could have done a lot with Darwin.
Mystique is turned into a good guy, which was always weird to me, and it didn't make sense.
Like,
but
it's Jennifer Lawrence driven. That's why they fucking
but
did
she
it.
wasn't a star at the time. This is before the
Right,
Jennifer Lawrence
but
became
Mantis?
big.
No, not Mantis. The bug girl.
Yeah,
I think it
exactly.
works.
The stripper with the fucking dragonfly wings.
Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz.
I want to say Wasp, but
No, I want to say Wasp also. That's what I was going to fucking say. It's Angel, I believe, is what they fucking call
so.
her.
So that movie works, though, doesn't it?
It does.
My favorite
I can
scene
still, yeah.
in that movie is the end with the coin, where he puts it through Kevin
Oh
Bacon's
my god.
fucking head.
Okay, so no. The first scene where Magneto hunts down the fucking Nazis in fucking Buenos Aires.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, fucking laughing, drinking.
I just remember it being a badass, like he's
It was an
calm,
actual
he's cool
Nazi
and stuff.
knife, but I think he shows them the numbers.
Yeah.
And that's
Because
how
he sees them, a picture of them on the boat that says some fucking German name.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, is this you? I was like, yeah.
He was
It's
just
like,
a badass.
yeah, dude.
He was just a total
Michael
badass.
Fassbender was a really
Oh,
good
yeah,
idea.
and the way they play that character is fucking unbelievable.
So that shit was fucking dope. But yes, the end scene where he fucking pushes the coin through his goddamn head, that was...
Oh, it was awesome. It was super violent, and Charles is screaming no, and he just fucking does it. It's so good.
No, Charles wasn't there at that point.
Oh,
No, he
really?
was actually freezing Shaw.
Yeah,
He could have let that go, like, oh, I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah.
But no, he was like, he kept him still.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, you're fucking dead now, boy.
Okay, well, that movie's good, but I think...
But he was freezing everybody. He didn't know he was freezing Shaw. Like, this is...
So that movie buys it back, and we're excited to see the series again.
Yeah, dude.
Then, the next movie that comes out is The Wolverine, after that. So The Wolverine is the sequel to Origins. of
Okay.
Wolverine.
Can we skip to
So
How do we-
I read the
Not yet.
Wolverine comics, and there was the part where he went to Japan and he fought.
Silver Samurai.
Yep. And his daughter, fucking
Lady Deathstrike?
Yep. And she had adamantium claws, also like him, on her fingers.
Which was in the second movie. Got to mention
That
the
wasn't
big
Lady
fight scene.
Deathstrike.
That was...
That was Lady Deathstrike.
Was
though.
it supposed to be for
It
real?
was.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I was going
yeah.
based off the cartoon, which... did you ever see Lady Deathstrike saga in the cartoon?
Yeah.
How amazing was that fucking arc?
It's amazing.
It was a great arc, and I was expecting like that, like, oh shit, there's his former love interest right there. They're gonna fucking go toe to toe. I was like, no.
But you gotta remember...
She doesn't know who the
in
fuck
the
she is.
first
She doesn't know who the
movie,
fuck she is.
Wolverine doesn't know Sabretooth, and Sabretooth doesn't know Wolverine. You've got to give a little
Right.
bit. You've got to give a little give and take, man.
Artistic liberty is certainly a thing.
So the Wolverine, that whole storyline with the Silver Samurai and all that
I
stuff.
liked a lot of parts of
He's
it.
a wereaboo, and he heads over there, and he's just like,
Yeah.
I really like it over here, you know?
And then, oh no! I'm Wolverine. I don't have my powers anymore.
that
What
movie-
the fuck is this movie then?
I think this movie works up until the third act where the giant robotic Silver Samurai comes in, which makes zero fucking sense.
No.
But everything leading up to that really liked. I also like the Matrix-style tracker they put in him that he has to rip out on the operating table.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of the scene in Prometheus where she has to do the alien
Oh yeah,
abortion
the
or
alien
whatever.
abortion. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, fucking that shit just creeps me out. Like you got a character who has to rip something that's alive and killing them out of them.
Out of them.
Woo! That's fucking crazy. So that works.
I liked the teaser at the end where she gives him the briefcase and you see the fucking Wolverine uniform inside the fucking
Now
suitcase.
that is also a
deleted scene.
but that was cool. And if they would have done that, which
God
we have
damn
to
it,
bring
dude.
up, they
Why
never
had
did
they
it.
never once fucking done this?
We need to see the Wolverine costume, and that speaks volumes to Hugh Jackman's portrayal. The fact that they just gave us the hair, and that was enough to see the Wolverine spikes, and you were happy with it. His portrayal of Wolverine was so good. We forgave the fact that we never got the blue and yellow spandex.
I will say that the
Or even
Wolverine.
orange and burgundy spandex.
You're right.
Yeah,
No, yellow and burgundy.
yeah, but you're right. I mean, you're
That's how good
exactly
his
right
portrayal
there.
was. We
But-
forgave that. That
Yeah.
never, and we just brought it up on a whim right now. But otherwise, that's how fucking good he was as that character.
But that's, I feel like this is something we talked about before Logan even came out because we were all working together at the same time whenever Logan came out.
Yeah.
We were at improv. We talked about
Yeah.
this shit. And I was like, look, dude, I just hope they put him in the uniform one time.
Yep, we talked about
That's
that.
all we fucking, that's all we need to see.
100%. Well, this time, the Wolverine was so-so, but then we get X-Men Days of Future Past, which I think is on par with X2.
I
think-
really like Days of Future
I am a
Past.
huge
Oh,
fan.
Future Past. Okay.
Yeah, bringing together the original cast from the first three movies, and then bringing together the first class in these characters. And supposedly this was going to be the third out of them, but they just skipped to it. They're like, well, let's do this because it's going to make $1 billion.
It's a retcon.
It 100% is.
Yeah.
And it ends, actually, the original trilogy in a better way. by going back, and he changes the past. And so everyone's still alive when he goes back to the university at the end, Wolverine. And also at the same time, it creates just a great storyline. The only thing that does not work in that movie for me is, why is Mystique trying to kill the president or whatever that was?
The midget? Why is she trying to kill the
Because they had a fucking right. Okay, so
was.
because at that time Jennifer Lawrence had become so big of a star from the Hunger Games and everything else, and from her breakout role in First Class, that they're like, oh well, this is a money draw right here. So they had to write her in. They had to make her a main character, and it doesn't work. She's a minor fucking character in the comics. Nobody gives a shit about fucking Mystique. She's fucking Nightcrawler's mom, and that's it. She can fucking morph herself into whoever she wants.
In First Class, she was good. Everything after that, she kind of does not have the same charisma. It seems like she doesn't.
No, she's trying to kill trash. Like, this guy's gonna build a killer weapon in space.
But this movie does
become giant.
This movie gives us what we've been wanting to see forever: Sentinel. What did you guys think of the Sentinels when you finally got
Bro, that fucking scene when the Sentinels went ham on everybody, that was heartbreaking. I didn't like seeing my boy Colossus get ripped in half. I didn't like seeing Sunspot get his arm chopped off and then his head cut off.
I didn't like the future Sentinels, but I liked
the old version of the Sentinels?
The original Sentinels that fucking goddamn Peter Dinklage, what the fuck
He's
is
a Bolivar Trask. Yeah.
Oh, Bolivar Trask.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I
like those Sentinels. Those looked like more true-ish to what we've all seen.
How about the time travel aspect of that movie?
Well, I mean, that's the Days of Future Past comic right there.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, obviously it's Shadowcat that goes back instead of him. Yeah. But either way,
I think it
works.
Yeah.
It really does work.
And I think that's the fun of seeing that movie, is seeing him get to interact with the younger kids.
Well, whenever he wakes up, and he's like, because of these. And the bone claws pop out. He's like, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly.
That was so good.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And the whole movie is...
And he goes back and he talks to fucking Professor X whenever he can walk because he's taking heroin, I guess. And he's like...
Which is downright bizarre.
Yeah.
He's just like...
Cause he's like, I'm going to tell you the first thing whenever you saw me. Fuck off. Like...
Yep, it's the callback to the first movie, and he remembers them. I also like, and we all love, the best scene of that movie, the Quicksilver scene.
Oh, yeah. That was fucking amazing.
That was unbelievable. And it's Evan Peters from American Horror Story.
I want to know...
So good.
I was thinking, how did Magneto not realize that I was his kid? Because he even mentioned, according to my mom, my dad was a guy that was really good with metal or magnets or something.
I think he knew it. I think he was just trying to get confirmation.
Oh.
And keep in mind, that's the X-Men Apocalypse when we get to that. So this
No. That was in Days of Future Past.
Oh, was it?
He is. He's going all around his basement, and he's playing Pac-Man, and he's like, oh, yeah, that reminds me, my dad was supposed to be really good at that. My mom said that. He was alluding to the fact that his dad was Magneto. Well, and everybody that is a true X-Men fan knows that he's the father of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
And I just love the fact that in any of the movies in the MCU, it is never, really said out loud.
Well, you
that
can't.
Magneto is,
They can't say it. They don't have the right to the character until now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes,
God.
that's why they could use him in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Well, initially, Quicksilver wasn't going to be in X-Men Days of Future Past. That character was put in there.
That was more of a fuck you.
That was a fuck you to Avengers.
It really was.
Age of Ultron is what it was. Originally, they were going to use the Juggernuts. That's who they were going to get him out of there. Was going to be the Juggernuts. But because they were like, oh, here's a good opportunity to use
also
this character.
is Charles Xavier's half-brother?
Or stepbrother.
Okay,
stepbrother.
either way.
So that would have been cool. But at the same time, that Quicksilver scene fucking killed it.
Oh, that sealed the deal for them.
That was the last thing they filmed, too. Because they're like, we need to put something together here. That's why he's only in that portion of the movie and he disappears. So that's fucking great.
They use, what?
No, he was in that scene. He also was in the scene where the school is about to blow up and he saves everybody.
That is an apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Really?
So the next movie in the X-Men franchise is...
Blue Apocalypse.
Deadpool.
Wait, no.
Y'all forgot about Deadpool.
Oh, God damn it. I cannot believe that. Okay, so that's where I fucked up because...
Forgot about Deadpool. So
Right.
Nowadays, everybody want to talk. Like, they got something to say, but you forgot about Deadpool. That's the bottom line.
Fucking head rolled like
Deadpool
a
came out of
sponge.
nowhere. The history of Deadpool
The
is so
savior
good, too. It's
of the X
amazing
franchise.
because that movie was being worked on for years and years and fucking years after X-Men Origins.
Denied and denied and denied.
Until finally somebody just happened to release on the internet the storyboards for the opening scene of that movie.
Before this, they had that fucking animation.
The animatic,
where
yeah.
they had Tim Miller fucking do the animations for it, for the opening scene, and they passed it along to Fox, and they passed on it.
Passed on
Hard
that shit.
fucking pass from the
Passed.
fucking president of Fox. It's like, nope, we're not going to fucking do it. somehow,
quote unquote, it ended up on the YouTubes.
and everybody ignited.
Unbelievable.
I remember watching it the first time it came out. I was like, fuck yes.
Did we watch that together?
I think we did.
I did.
Yeah,
I think
we
it was
did.
in the showroom,
We watched
wasn't it?
Either that or at the house.
Yeah. And remember, we were just like, holy fuck,
Like,
this is awesome.
Why are they not making this right fucking now?
Out of nowhere, boom, gets greenlit.
Yep.
That movie comes out Valentine's Day.
Greenlit.
Dude. Yeah, very nice, very nice. The movie comes out on Valentine's Day. We're all like, why the fuck does this come out on Valentine's Day? That movie is a legit love story movie. It's
Promotion that they did for it for Valentine's Day also, though.
Oh, yeah, it was
like
hilarious.
all the fucking like little snippets of him in front of the fireplace and the bearskin rug, you know,
Like the
fucking
Burt Reynolds
yeah,
back in the
like,
day.
oh my god.
Everything. It was funny. It was low budget. It felt like a great movie. It did Colossus in a way we all wanted to fucking see. Deadpool, I can't imagine being anyone else other than Ryan Reynolds.
So what it was is Ryan Reynolds studied up on the whole X franchise and the whole Deadpool character arc before he did X-Men Origins. And he's like, no, we're doing it wrong. You know, while Wolverine was being made, he lobbied for it so fucking hard. He had so many people behind him, right? Like,
And you got to remember, too, he was a very much faltering actor at this time. He'd done a series of movies that did not do well. So to say,
well, he was half and half. He was hit or miss. Because, like, just Friends came out after X-Men Origins, but then
what
also
was the
like
Men
the
in Black?
proposal.
The PRBD.
R.I.P.D.
R.I.P.D.
Yeah,
which
is another comic book movie.
it's just a
Also.
really
Wait,
a Men in
which
Black
one's
like
the
ripoff.
R.I.P.D.?
That's a Men in
Jeff
Black
Bridges.
ripoff. It's a Men in Black
Oh,
ghost
fuck, that was
ripoff.
terrible.
Like he had
It's
been,
a fun movie, though.
in a lot of ways he was in movie jail. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, well, he wants to do Deadpool. But the fans were kind of behind it after seeing the thing.
Because he's fucking quick and he's got really good sarcastic.
But you got to remember, before
Did you
Deadpool
ever
came
watch
out,
Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place?
That show's fucking great.
it's a showroom movie.
That was his That was his breakout fucking role. Like on ABC, they had a show for like 2 seasons.
Yep.
Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, and also it had Beatrice from Dirty Work in there.
With Deadpool, though, comes out of nowhere, Valentine's Day weekend. All of us nerds want to go see it. We got girlfriends at the time. They don't want to see it. The movie fucking works.
We got a hard R rating.
hard R.
Yep.
Fucking hilarious movie.
Yep.
Action scenes are unbelievably good. The love story works in a way that I never expected it came through. If you did not fall in love with his fucking love interest, Vanessa. If you didn't fall in love with Vanessa, you're crazy. That girl is
Marina
gorgeous.
Baccarin.
She is gorgeous.
God damn.
What about that movie worked for you guys?
What do you mean? All of it. The goddamn movie is a goddamn
It's a
masterpiece.
masterpiece. I agree with you.
It's great.
It's a masterpiece. It's violent. It's lovable.
It's got
It's-
What they had a $7 million budget and made back $700
I
million.
think the budget was $60 million. Budget $58 million. Box office $783.1 million. That's insane. I mean, just everything about that movie is so fucking good. And is it set in the X-Men universe, or is it not set in the X-Men
Well, it is,
universe?
because we have Colossus.
But it's a different version of Colossus. I love it when they go to the mansion. He was like, "Why can't we only afford 2 X-Men?"
Negasonic Teenage Warhead was one of
she was
the
cool,
later... yeah, she was dope. One of the later X-Men recruits also. So, I mean, like, we do have a lot of aspects from that, and he's part of the Weapon X project. That's what Ajax was doing to him. That was also part of Weapon X. He was actually technically Weapon 11, or Weapon XI.
Where's Francis? Screaming throughout the whole movie. Javi, what you like about the
Wade
movie?
Wilson, what's my name? Oh, I'm going to spell it out for you, you motherfucker. And he does it with the dead bodies.
I like the love story aspect, of course. And I also like that in the beginning, you can kind of see, like, well, he's funny and hilarious. He's got a seriously menacing side to him. Like, especially with the pizza boy. That whole scene, he's like, told you, soft spots. And all of a sudden, like, he gets really funny. He's like, oh, I don't want to fuck with this guy.
That I have a lot of hard spots also.
Oh, God, I want to watch it so bad.
Or did it?
I want to watch it so fucking bad. All right, we can't talk about Deadpool all day. It's so fucking good.
Let's skip Apocalypse.
Let's go to X-Men Apocalypse, which I fucking like. I think it's a decent movie. Roll your eyes if you want, Javi. Fuck you, I don't care.
All right,
okay. It's a halfway decent
It's
movie.
a decent movie, but come on. Why are you going to bring in Oscar Isaac, a guy of that quality and caliber, and just have him
He was
bad?
fine. What was wrong with him in that movie?
He looked retarded, first and foremost.
I kind of agree with him.
It's
They
like-
should have
it's like-
gotten somebody bigger. Like,
About Answer Who? Did you have an extra chromosome? Why do you look the way that you look?
you know who would have made a great apocalypse to me? Fucking like Brock Lesnar. Somebody like that.
Beast mode, yeah.
A huge motherfucker.
Jack.
Because Apocalypse is menacing. Like, he's one of the most
He's
dangerous...
physically imposing.
Yeah, he's one of the most dangerous, fucking, deadliest foes of the X-Men.
Well, you gotta remember, they went back through and they re-CGI'd him in the way the character looked in that movie because the fan outrage for the first
He
photos,
looked like Ooze
they
from
hated.
Mighty
Well,
Morphin.
okay,
Exactly,
wait.
he looked like Ivan Ooze. and
Before
people hated
that, wait, we got the scene of him at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past.
Right.
The end scene.
Building the pyramids
Right.
and stuff like
He
that.
was like a kid. But that opening scene where he takes the sand and cuts the motherfuckers' heads off
It's
with
awesome.
it, dope.
Yeah.
Really good.
I think that the character
They would've
design wasn't great. You're right.
Apocalypse would have been a lot better had they just left him as a human for that one.
You think?
I think absolutely.
No, he's the first mutant, though.
Well,
You
he
can't
could be the
leave
first
him as a
mutant, but
human.
They didn't have to do all that fucking makeup. They could have just had some human aspects of him still.
Well, technically, he was gray anyways, with blue lips and just
Right.
had blue fucking outfit.
I mean, what is it about that movie people don't like? I like it. I understand the third act is a little bit over the top and bigger than most X-Men movies had been up to that point, but it also shows off a lot of the powers in interesting ways. The same reason I like the powers in X-Men Days of Future
You know what
Past.
I think it is for me? Is the timeline doesn't fucking match.
Like I said, after X3, fucking throw the timeline out. the
Right,
window.
but
It
still,
doesn't
even
matter
still,
anymore.
they no, the Days of Future Past retconned everything. So
Mm-hmm.
you can throw the future out. So this takes place in the mid-'80s.
You're right. They did the weird skip thing where they went from the 60s to the 70s and Days of
And they
Future Past
all
to
look the
80s.
fucking same.
They look the same age.
Yeah.
100%. You're right. It doesn't match up.
That's kind of what threw it off for me.
100%. Like, you've got to throw that out and go, like, there's no way this will sync up with the eventual late 90s movie that they made, early 2000s movie that they came out.
Well, I mean, it's like, and we're still uproar about this now about the new X-Men movie.
Right.
Magneto. How much he is aged since 2000.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though.
If you do, like, this next movie, Dark Phoenix takes place in even 93 or whatever,
Yes.
and then 2000 came out, X-Men the original. How did he go
He came
from
out
being...
6 years
How did he
after that.
come out, go from being Michael Fassbender to Ian
fucking
McKellen?
McKellen.
I'll tell you how. Heroin and crack.
He did a bunch of that crack.
Yeah. Like,
This movie, I don't know why everyone has such an issue with it. Please explain to me what's wrong with the movie, Javi, because you don't like it.
I don't not like it. When it comes to Apocalypse, I just wish I had a more menacing villain.
You're right. He
more
was-
imposing.
He
More
should have been
imposing.
bigger.
Someone that fucking commanded the screen. If you're gonna do an Apocalypse movie, you gotta make sure you're gonna have an actor that's gonna fucking draw the people in, just like Ledger did with the Joker.
You're right, because he...
Bane. Tom Hardy
Oh, fucking
with Bane.
Bane.
He put lifts in his shoes to make him be eye to eye with Batman, even though he wasn't.
Or
Christian Bale's 6'1", he's 5'9".
But
He
if
fucking
you look
was-
at this, Apocalypse should be the same level with Thanos as a threat. to
Right.
them. He should
Yeah,
be
no,
huge
a
fucking
greater
threat.
threat.
He should be, and he ends up not being that big a
No.
threat. I can see why you guys could say,
Yeah.
like, he kind of goes out like a bitch.
Right.
But there's stuff he does in that movie that's cool. Like I said, that factory scene where he goes there,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
just points at everyone, and he, like, turns his hand, and they all fade into, like, the concrete, and you just hear, ha. That is one of the most terrifying noises I've ever heard. At sound quality, like in a movie, where you just hear people screaming because their death is happening.
How do
But
they
their
go?
Screams. It's just, huh.
That sounds
It's
like
just
the
this
fucking nerdy news.
But it does. It freaks me out to this day.
Yeah.
Go watch that scene. I think the scene with Fassbender in the forest and his wife and his daughter are there, and he's taking the dog tag and killing everyone. is
Okay, so
great.
that's essentially fucking Wolverine Origins whenever he's working the
You
goddamn
did bring
forest.
that up before. But
know what I'm
that
saying?
scene works really well for me. And then the movie after that is kind of like, I can understand how it's kind of not well put
The
together.
best scene in that movie is Quicksilver, once again.
Saving the people
kids from
from-
the...
Yeah, and
Right.
you get fucking Eurythmics playing in the background, Sweet Dreams Are Made of These,
Right.
and fucking he's just...
But like I said,
throwing everybody out.
there's parts of that movie that
But
are a
I
lot
feel
of
like
fun.
they gave Quicksilver too many powers also in these movies.
But they knew it worked in the last one. They said, let's do another repeat.
and that's what they did with...
Well,
Well, never mind.
the newest
We'll get
one.
to it.
Yeah. So let's talk about, let's throw X-Men Apocalypse out the window. Maybe it's not great. But Logan. The very reason we've had all these movies
so fucking
back
good.
to back.
Finally,
to back.
justice is done.
Wow. Rated R. Hard
Bro.
R. Wow. That movie from beginning to end is amazing. And
Tearjerker, man.
it-
I cried so many times,
Yep.
like tears of joy, tears of sadness, just tears of like they're fucking finally doing them right.
Right.
Like, God, damn.
From that opening scene where he gets into the fight with the guys outside of the limo,
Yeah.
And his
and
claws
you see
can't pop.
His claws can't pop at the beginning.
That's
Oh, you're
I
right.
teared up at that part. I was like, oh,
But then he
fuck.
cuts the shotgun in half, like the right hand works, but the left ones that won't pop out. Like, and he's just a fucking beat down, weathered old fucking
Like,
man.
he moves like a retired boxer. And it
Yeah.
sucked to see him move like that.
Yeah,
It
dude.
was
And
Like,
what's-
you already feel for him. Like,
and
you're just like,
you feel for him, but then he's still holding it together for Charles, and he's taking care of him.
Yes.
And the carryover from the original trilogy, where you see that relationship of father and son, or mentor and student.
Xavier's taking
and-
care of him the entire time, and now
and
he's having to take care of
inverses.
him. Yeah.
And then whenever you find out halfway through that movie, spoilers if you haven't seen it, you're a fucking idiot if you haven't, what happened and why. And that plays into...
That's how
Okay.
they interpreted Old Man
Old Man Logan.
because
Wolverine killed him.
Wolverine was tricked by Mysterio. He fucking goes ham on everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and then he like realizes what he'd done, and he fucking goes crazy. I'm never popping these things again.
But
But
you
honestly,
inverse it.
that
They
is
inverse
a
it.
great fucking twist on the story because they couldn't get away with the copyright issues for using Hulk and everybody
Yeah.
else in Hawkeye, and the fact that it just makes so much sense that he's so powerful that he can't control it anymore because he's in his fucking old age and senility.
Yep.
Like
he's like having seizures.
Yes.
And shit.
And they also build it up earlier in X2 whenever Jason Stryker has him pinpoint all the other X-Men and puts the red on them where he can kill them all at once.
No, he has
Right.
to pinpoint every human on Earth.
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it
No,
was. It was
killing
all the
mutants.
humans.
He was doing the mutants first because
Yes.
Stryker wanted to kill the mutants. Then they switched it over to the humans. But here's what I'm
Yes.
saying: is they built this up. Okay, they showed a pass to that, and then to show that it actually happened, where Professor X took out a bunch of the mutants, and
took out all
he
of them.
can't remember any of that. That's terrifying. That
Oh,
came
yeah.
to fruition. Now, whether this movie exists in a parallel universe, a parallel future, it doesn't matter.
The whole scene whenever they take him to the fucking hotel and Charles is having the fucking
Seizure? Oh,
and he's
dude.
moving in slow-mo and everybody's seeing him. Their eyes are moving in fucking real time, but everybody's moving slow-mo and fucking Wolverine's just pushing through like through the fucking head.
Like everybody else is just
oh my
frozen.
god,
It was
damn.
awesome.
I want to go home and watch it now.
I do. I know. I love that movie. And
So,
then to have the clone show up out of nowhere. The young clone.
X-24.
Roberto?
Dude,
What's
are
wrong?
you kidding me? Even
Yeah, it's god damn it.
I want to say Robert for some reason. I think that was
I think
the
it's
clone's
Roger.
name.
I don't know.
Or Bert or something like that. He actually has an actual name.
It does.
oh, you're talking about the Wolverine clone.
Yes, look, the clone you just brought
That's
up.
that's good.
It's Albert.
There it goes.
But
Albert.
on top of that, having the daughter character, which is technically his clone,
X-23.
also
Yep.
is so cool. And having her be only speaking Spanish, and like she shows up and she's got the two claws and she rips off the guys. Everything about that fucking movie just
And
works.
X is trying to tell him, like,
X gonna
it's
give it to
your
you.
daughter.
Yeah.
You know, she's
Dude.
like you. Like, holy fuck.
I just love that fucking movie.
Oh
dude.
my god, it works all the way
I
through.
feel
Oh,
like
man, fucking
Deadpool,
Caliban.
1, and Logan.
Yes,
Those are
Caliban.
the
Goddamn
two.
Stephen Merchant
Yo.
as fucking Caliban. Holy
So
fuck.
good.
Fear the light.
So good, dude. Like I said, Deadpool and Logan are the pinnacles. Those go above and beyond what superhero movies are. It feels like a Clint Eastwood movie to me.
It does.
It is.
It's like a last
Well,
stand.
okay, so it's funny you mention that because that is what Wolverine is based on. They
Mm-hmm.
based him on Clint Eastwood. Like
just goes
his
full
looks,
circle.
his attitude, everything. That he was the fucking man with no name.
What I liked about Logan is like, and I think that's what I really loved about Endgame when it came to Tony Stark's like ending. Logan had such a sense of finality to it. It was like, holy
yeah.
shit!
Oh.
When
this
they
is-
turn,
this
they
is the
turn the
Wolverine,
cross,
bro.
and
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the X, dude. You're just
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, that's
dude.
where it's at. And if you weren't tearing up by that point, you were not a fan.
No.
And you were a bitch.
Dude, I was like,
And I was a bitch, but I was crying.
like I was tearing up at the end when like all the guys are trying
Same.
to round up the kids. All of a sudden, like she's friendly. All of a sudden, you just hear, ah! Like I started tearing up there. And all of a sudden, you see the scene of him running. Like he goes ham on those guys.
Okay, yeah, so he injected himself with the fucking
Yep.
serum, and he just, like, goes into berserker mode again for the
We
final
finally
time.
get the true berserker.
Yeah,
mode.
we get the final fucking form, but they shaved his fucking shit to where he looked like Wolverine. The kids were all laughing at him, and the kid was playing with him and Sabretooth. You know, he's like, did
Yeah.
you know him?
That was cool that they did the comic book.
Yeah, and
like,
he looked at
we
the
told
comic book,
this-
he's like, come on, Charles, you know half this is fake.
Yeah, that was kind of cool that they did that they brought that
What
in. And like I said, this movie kind of exists outside the film universe, but kind of exists within it. It's kind of its own thing. It's a one-off, but it's not. The only thing I didn't like, and I got to point this out, is he slept.
Shut your fucking
He
mouth.
slept a lot in that movie. Like he kept falling asleep. And I'm like, I get your old man Logan, but you got to take naps all the time. What's the story?
He's losing his power.
I think my
I
favorite
know.
scene in that movie, I think, is like super,
I will defend it all the way.
It's super underrated, and I've replayed the scene like
But he
1,000 times.
He did nap a lot. Give
You
me
know,
that.
He
okay.
did.
Okay.
It
One
was this
thing
scene
that-
when after Professor X got stabbed and the real Logan shows up. He goes, "I'm sorry, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me."
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Heart wrenching, dude.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh Jesus.
So the Blu-ray release, they dropped the noir version.
Black and white.
Yes, that one is. If you watch it in that, like, I mean, to me, that's like almost more definitive to
Yeah.
me. That's like, goddamn, this is like truly like what it's about. It's
Yeah,
almost like
yeah.
like fucking watching a manga come
That
to life.
movie is
like,
so good. though.
It's beautiful.
Go watch it. We'll talk about the last movie real quick, just to touch on it. Deadpool 2, and it's awesome.
I love it.
What else can you say?
Love it.
Awesome.
But truthfully, Logan was the end of the X-Men series.
Right.
Up until Dark Phoenix, but does that count?
No.
I don't know.
Logan
We
will
haven't
always be
seen
the
it
end of
yet, but I mean...
We pretty much know what we're going to get.
I won't say that I love Deadpool just as much as the first one, but almost just as much as the first one.
You gotta say, the scene where they come out of the plane, X-Force comes
Oh yeah,
out, that is
amazing!
one of the
They're
best
playing
scenes
goddamn
ever.
Thunderstruck as they're fucking jumping out of the goddamn plane. Yeah, dude, it's so fucking good.
That movie has, I feel like it's not as cohesive as the first one, but it's as fun as the first one, and that makes up for it.
Right.
And it's got the Jiggernuts.
The Jiggernuts!
I love the Jiggernuts.
The Jiggernuts!
What would you guys say, though, out of the X-Men series is your favorite? I think it's pretty definitive.
It's a tie between Deadpool and Logan.
Yeah, I would
For me.
say out of the team movies, I would say it's a tie between X2 and Days of Future Past for me.
X2, Days of Future Past, Deadpool, and
But
Logan.
out of the entire franchise with the spin-offs and everything, I think Logan and Deadpool definitely take the
Yeah.
cake. Like, that's the best, period, done.
Well, and I like how at the beginning of Deadpool 2, he addresses that where he's like, that motherfucker Logan tries to go shows me up and dying. Well, I'm going to die in this one too, you know? Like,
So good.
but he doesn't. Fuck you, Deadpool.
We haven't
You lied.
seen Dark Phoenix. That's fine. We'll see it eventually. What do we want out of the future of the X-Men? We know eventually they're
I
coming to the
want
Marvel
to
Cinematic
complete.
Universe.
You know what? Take some time, rebuild it, do it the right way. Take your time with it.
Kevin
Don't rush it.
Feige, get behind this.
Don't
Write a good
DC
story.
the X-Men, please.
No, they won't.
Anything else about the X-Men you guys want to say about the series as a whole? What is your favorite storyline throughout the whole thing?
Not Phoenix.
Okay, in the movies, but the comics.
The
that is
Jim
just in
Lee
the
run
comics.
was great because I was a huge Ghost Rider fan at the time also. And issue number 8 or 9, they introduced Ghost Rider and the Brood. The Brood is also one of fucking X-Men's biggest villains. They're pretty much xenomorphs, is what they are.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy. But I love Ghost Rider. I still love the franchise. I know that it's just movies. You know, they're going to make them. They're going to remake them. I mean, there's endless source material that they can pull from. They can do it right.
Do you feel like we need a 5-year wait?
I think we need a year and a half, 2 year
Maybe
wait.
3 at most.
Yeah, year and a
You
half,
gotta
2 year
remember,
wait
we're
is
still
what I'm
getting New
thinking.
Mutants also. New Mutants is yet to come out.
God, I thought they canceled it. I know the movie's made, but we haven't seen a goddamn thing since the fucking trailer dropped almost a year and a half
There's
ago.
rumors that they might just throw it to Hulu
Or
eventually.
Netflix, either one.
But there is a release date. I think it's April 20th of next year.
420.
Yeah.
Okay, for X-Men, leave out Phoenix. Stop going back to Wolverine. Go with something new. Bring out Phalanx. You know, do the Legacy Virus arc.
Bro, we already talked about this. The Mojoverse.
Oh, yeah.
Mojoverse.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And here was our theory of how you bring Deadpool into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You use the Mojoverse. You go into that world. You introduce the multiverses through that, which they obviously are introducing through Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yep.
And you bring in Deadpool from a different universe into the Mojoverse, and that's how you get him into your current
And
Marvel
honestly,
Cinematic Universe.
Mojo was fucking terrifying.
So good.
And also, here's what
And
Mr.
with-
Sinister. Give us a
Yes,
proper Mr.
yes.
Sinister with the fucking
Fuck, okay,
Badlands and all that shit.
alright, we've already got a teaser for that, for the fucking Essex Corpse fucking briefcase at the end of fucking X2. Like, we've already gotten the fucking teaser. Mr. Sinister is so fucking a great villain.
I
for
don't
this
want
shit.
that Mr. Sinister from Logan. I want, like, legit Mr. Sinister. The guy
But that wasn't Mr. Sinister. That
that was.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It was supposed
It
to
wasn't.
be, and then they...
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
that
They
sounds
retconned
good.
it.
Yep.
But either way, We also got Arkady Rosovich, a.k.a. Omega Red, in Deadpool 2. We see him in a fucking brief scene, but he's got the fucking Omega symbol on his forehead. That would be a great fucking villain to fucking play in.
But our theory was, if you bring in the Mojoverse, you do kind of like a Thor Ragnarok thing where it's out in outer space.
Right.
You can tie in X-Men, Deadpool come from a different universe because that does work with the multiverse. Yes. And then you bring him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe that way. And then you just use Deadpool however you would use him.
But that would mean that they would have to fucking introduce Longshot and Dazzler. Like, those would be the two main characters, though. He
does say he's from Mojo World or whatever.
Yeah, Mojo World. Yeah. I say Mojoverse, but Mojo World is exactly right. Yeah. But I'm saying, Longshot was a huge part of this, and Dazzler were both from there. And Shatterstar from X-Force.
Let's do it. I'm so fucking down with that.
Yeah.
Let's see it happen. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope that you enjoy X-Men as much as we did talking about it. That was a fucking blast.
This shit.
This has been Duck. I have been here with
Jake
and
Dick and Javi.
And y'all, thank you so much for listening.
I'm here.
Have a good one, bitches.
Love you, motherfuckers.
And there it is. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you have enjoyed it, please do not forget, share with your friends. That is how we grow the network. And if this is your first time listening, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Bagu, a video game podcast featuring me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood. That's where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. Don't forget Heroes Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were sitting down, we're playing some D&D, we're having so much fun. You can go and start that from the beginning of the journey, Season 1, Episode 1. You're going to love it all the way through. And finally, I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I'm going to sit down with some of the most epic people I've ever met in this world, and we're going to talk about their life, we're going to talk about their trials and tribulations, and we're just going to talk about their journey this far. Head on over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. Also, head over to the Facebook group, We Are Error. We would love to see you in that group. And don't forget, if you've enjoyed the podcast today, share it with your friends. That's the only way we can grow this network. With that said, do not forget, support local comedy in any way that you can. We really do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.